Hello everybody, this is HD Shaves here. I'm back with the video. Very excited for this one today because we just got lots of special things going on. Firstly, I want to mention that if you entered the giveaway last week and you're waiting to see if you won, stay tuned for the end of the video where I will announce the names of the 3 winners. Now then, today is also a special shave because this is a collaboration shave of sorts. Some of my friends might call this a book club shave, which I think is a funny way to compare it to like reading a book with your friends. Anyway, this one is a collaboration with Mark of Friendship Shaving. So I've been watching Mark on YouTube probably ever since I got into this strange little hobby back in 2019. He's got a really wonderful demeanor about him, very calm, and I think that's a nice contrast to some of the other people on YouTube who I'm maybe not so crazy about because they're just a little bit too wild for me, let's say. And I would consider myself to be, more on the Mark side of the, personality, being very calm. Mark and I have corresponded over the past few months, and it seems that we share similar interest in tea and also in vintage British razors. So that's sort of what this shave is all about. He's going to be talking about his Ever Ready Ambassador set, I believe, which is sort of like the Streamline razor. And today, I would like to talk to you all about the Ever Ready new chrome strop outfit. So I'm going to start by showing you an advertisement, or an advert, as they say in the UK. And you can see there that here at the top that this was December 1949 when this was published. That's not super surprising because they would do a lot of like holiday season sales, trying to get people to buy razor sets for their spouse or whatever. And this is a very cool advert that I found on British eBay, and I'm glad to have this. Maybe eventually I'll get it put into a little frame and hanging up on my wall. So you'll notice it's called a Strop outfit. Outfit meaning like a set or something. We don't use outfit in that context here in the US, but I think in 1949 England, I think that's kind of what they were going for there. I think the outfit thing makes it really seem classy, especially by 2022 standards. And so basically it's just a nice example to show that, just the date of when these were being released. And so there are 2 main types of the Strop outfit for our little story time here. This is the older style, which is admittedly less common. I've been looking out for these razors for a couple years now, and I can tell you that you do not see as many of these style cases out there. And supposedly this is the older one. I would also like to go ahead and give a shout out to 120 in a 55 who unfortunately passed away sometime maybe the past year, but he was a real expert on these razors. And I'm going to go ahead and include a link to a post he made on Reddit a few years ago talking about the differences between the Streamline razor. That's a really nice post if you're interested in learning more. Okay, so here is the Strop outfit here, the original style. And this is the razor I'm actually going to be shaving with today because it is the older style of the Streamline razor. Again, I put it in quotes because they never used the Streamline name except in the context of talking about that single clamshell, this sort of streamlined case. And so it is a little bit of a misnomer that we always call this razor the Streamline, but I understand that it's common convention, and we're just mentioning this for sort of history purposes here. So in addition to the case being different, the first generation style, this is what 120 and a 55 told me. I haven't heard this confirmed, so if you know, feel free to chime in. Other than the lather slots being larger on the first generation 30 style of the razor, this case is supposed to have an auto strop that has no text on it, and the actual strop is supposed to have no text on it. So maybe this is a mismatch in the sense that these both do have text on them, but anyway, I'm not going to get too into that. And then I have the other most common style, and it includes the shipper. For those of you who don't know, the shipper is the original box that they would ship, presumably from the razor manufacturer to the store, like the vendor, whoever was going to sell the razor. And so this is the other most common Strop outfit style where the text goes like this. And this is a really nice example. It's got, let me just put this down somewhere. It's got some original little advertisements here in the bottom. And something very cool I just noticed in this today is if you look very closely at what's written there, it's dated 1950, and it says that the price was 21 pence. I always forget what that currency used to be, but anyway, it's very cool that somebody wrote in there 1950. So I have no reason to not believe that this isn't the original, deal. So very quickly, this set, it's a little different on the inside and the way that the name is presented. And then otherwise, the version of the razor has the smaller lather slots, which also that version of the razor is more common. And then the Strop, of course, has the text, and then the Auto Strap has the text as well. So we won't be using any of these today, but I just wanted to show that. There was also a brown version of that earlier set that came out where the case was brown. Anyway, we'll keep talking about it as we go. We're already at 6 minutes, but I'm very enthusiastic about this stuff, and so I hope you all are getting some out of this. Okay, so Mark and I also agreed that we would use a synthetic brush today because Mark loves his synthetics, so I said, okay man, I'll be happy to use one too. This is a Maggard Timberwolf knot with a Dogwood Handcrafts custom acrylic handle. And then I sort of suggested, why don't we use some Declaration Grooming? I love Declaration Grooming products, and I know Mark has a couple. So today I'll be using the Puzzle scent, which was originally released in 2019. Kind of a cool concept he would do where he would release a soap and then you had to guess what the scent notes were. This one is tobacco, vanilla, vetiver, rosemary, and if you guess the notes right, then you won a prize. And I happen to know the person who guessed all these notes correctly, and he's a cool guy. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into the shave. I'm going to warm my face. And you know what? Before I get too crazy with the lathering and whatnot, why don't I put a blade into this 30s earlier style Streamline. So to load these, this one's got a tight spring. You open that one up, and then as you can see, this one has the larger lather slot. So that's how you know that it's the earlier style of the razor. Again, these are much less common in my experience. It's like 10 to 1. Like for every one of these that you see out there, there's maybe 10 of the newer 50 style with the smaller slots. We're going to put in a gem PTFE blade, and I'll try to get this on camera here. You just drop the blade in, make sure it goes up against the blade stops, which, there it is, okay. And then when you snap it down, hold it in just like that. So we got the razor loaded. Laser loaded, that's kind of funny. Okay, we're just gonna wet the brush through, and then we're gonna go straight into loading the soap. Thank you all so much. This is a very dark soap, by the way, because of the vanilla, presumably. Thank you all so much for all the positive comments on last week's video, regarding the 500 subscribers and whatnot. It's just always nice to feel the love in the shaving world, I really think we have a great little community here on YouTube and otherwise, and it's nice to hear from people, and if you know me personally, you know that I love to talk, so if anybody ever wants to reach out, feel free, leave me a comment, send me an email, and I'll be more than happy to get back to you. So this soap is loading up very easily. This is the milk stick base, and I'm going to go ahead and assume that that's okay. Let's grab some of the proto lather off the sides. I remember now that this is kind of a darker, it's a slightly brown kind of a end result because of that vanilla. And let's start our face lather here. The Timberwolf has to be one of my favorite synthetic knots that I've ever tried. I had a period there where I just couldn't really figure out what kind of synthetic was going to work for me, and Timberwolf was kind of the winner. I always come back to this knot, and it's cool that it's in this little custom handle as well. We had some, I don't know, we probably got 8 inches of snow over the course of a couple days last week. And I'm proud to report that this week there's not snow scheduled, not any snow forecasted. I'm supposed to get up into the 40s a couple of the days, and maybe we'll get a little rain or something. But the weather's looking a little bit nicer here in the Windy City, so we can always appreciate that. I'm just going to keep adding water to this, and I'll bring you in when I'm about to start my first pass with the Streamline. Be right back. Okay, we're back, and that was very easy to build our lather. And let's go with the first pass with this razor. As a reminder, with pretty much all these gem razors, you want to ride it pretty flat with the cap. I don't know if I've used this older style before, or if I have, it's been a long time. Supposedly these are a little bit more aggressive than the later 50 style. But man, I gotta tell you, that feels really good, actually. This PTFE blade has a handful of pieces on it, so that probably helps. As usual with these razors, you get a wonderful cutting sound. Some might even say like buttering toast, right? So I must say that I do think that these chrome razors are some of the most beautiful safety razors I've ever seen. However, doesn't really shave that much better than a host of other gem style razors that are very easy to find and much cheaper. I'm not so sure. So I certainly understand if you are, kind of attracted to the look of this razor and want to pick it up. But if you're a little bit more, pragmatic about the kind of razors you buy, keep in mind that, there are some other razors that get the job done well for less money. The interesting thing with these razors is that they do command such a pretty penny, especially here in the US because they're an import from England, of course. But I don't know if they actually didn't make that many. Like, it seems like they made a lot of that second generation Strop outfit. Like, that's the most common example I see. And it would kind of suggest that it wasn't that uncommon of a razor. I just know that, it was more expensive. It was more expensive than just like a 1912 set. So I would understand that maybe there were fewer made just due to the cost prohibitions, if you will. Yeah, this razor's really feeling nice. We're working on basically 2 days growth as usual. I gotta tell you as well, as somebody who loves these gem style razors, it's always great to come back to them. It's been a while since I've used one of these. You can definitely feel the blade with this razor, but I think with a little practice, it's not overwhelming or anything. Great, first pass done. I'm going to rinse and bring it back in for pass number 2 in just a moment. Pass number 2. This Puzzle soap scent is really terrific. It's, got that typical tobacco vanilla thing that you smell in a lot of fragrances, but the vetiver and rosemary kind of separates it. Okay, let's do the second pass here with this razor. went quiet there for a moment just to really enjoy the experience, if you will. You know, I haven't used the other version of this razor in quite some time, but I did for, you know, I did consistently for a while. And yeah, these two styles of the razor don't vary as much as I was expecting, honestly. I know there's some people that really prefer, usually I hear about it in the other way, like, as in people really prefer the later style of the razor and they can't stand this one. But to me, I don't notice too much of a difference. Perhaps a side-by-side shave in the future would be warranted. But again, these older style of the razor in particular is just so difficult to find. Like I really had to search to find examples to consider purchasing. Again, I believe that they were originally only sold with that older Strop outfit. They weren't sold with the Ambassador set or the Streamline set or anything like that. But every now and then, you do see what I assume are mismatched sets, as in like this razor will be in like a Streamline case or an Ambassador case. In fact, I think I have one like that right now. I have an Ambassador case with a mismatched older razor in there. So if you really want to try one of these older styles for science, you just kind of have to really look at the, you know, eBay listings and see if you can look at the lather slots, because that's basically the easiest way to tell. Okay, second pass down, rinse, come back in for final third pass, just a moment. Okay, final third pass with puzzle. And let's do a final third against the grain pass now. Very smooth, doesn't feel any worse than going in the other directions. So I always say though, it helps that if you're waiting till the third pass to do your against the grain, that you've removed so much hair. So that would definitely help you. In the kind of perceived smoothness realm, if you know what I mean. Interestingly, for some reason, I guess it's because of the kind of angle of these lather slots, but they're a little bit more difficult to rinse. I mean, it's not like it's clogging or anything, but the second generation would seem to be a little bit easier to rinse. So who knows? Maybe that was part of the reason why they changed it up. There was also people speculated that, you know, these razors were made in the 30s, and then they stopped in the war, you know, in the 40s, and they started up again, right? So that's certainly believable. I just don't know if I've heard anything sort of concrete in that regard. Let's go this way. Looks like I did catch myself right here a little bit. I felt it when that happened. Just don't think I went in right in the cap enough. But that's okay. Yeah, the soap is feeling great. Very, very easy to use. almost forgot to mention a very important aspect of this razor is that it's quite hefty by vintage standards. And so besides its stunning looks, I would say that the heft is definitely something that separates it from other versions of gem razors, basically. I think because it's brass on the inside, and then that chrome plating perhaps gives it some heft. Okay, we're just feeling around, and not surprisingly, seems like we got a pretty good shave. So that's very nice. I'm going to add a little alum to this, and then I'm going to come back, talk to you over post-shave, and announce those giveaway winners. So stay tuned. Okay, we're back after a little alum, cold water rinse. Seems to mostly stop there. Let's announce the giveaway winners before I forget. So the 3 winners are CTB, Tim G, Nick K. I'm going to put the names there, and if you all can please, congrats, first of all. And if you all can please email me your mailing addresses, and I'll get your prizes shipped out to you very shortly. Now then, for aftershave, let's use some Decoration Grooming Unscented Liniment. Can't get enough of this stuff in these colder months. It's a very thick kind of product, but rub it in and definitely apply to a damp face because it kind of needs a little support for its best absorption, if you will. All right, that feels great. So let's do a final quick rundown, and then I will let everybody go. We used the older style 30s Streamline razor, originally sold in the Strop outfit. We used Decoration Grooming Unscented Liniment. We used Decoration Grooming Puzzle soap from 2019, and we used custom Dogwood handle with the Timberwolf knot. I want to thank Mark again for reaching out to me and asking me to do this collaboration book club shave. I think this is awesome. And of course, go check out his channel and check out that 120 and a 55 article about the differences between the 2 Streamline razors, if that interests you. So for now, this has been HG Shaves. Thank you all so much for the love and support. I appreciate it, and we'll see you again next time. Goodbye.